Welcome to FM Dojo. In this video, we're going to take a look at diagram. Similarly to the code editor and the chat, you have a left panel. You can actually close this panel as well if it's in your way. Buttons will stay out. And you can see previous diagrams. If you click on them, you can zoom in. You can bring them to the center, and you can go and play with any of the other ones. But let's try to create a new one. You can create this manually. So first I need to create a new diagram, and let's give it a name. I'm just going to say, it's going to be a demo diagram, and I can create a table manually. Let's say it's going to be demo table, right? Demo table, here we go. And you're like, wow, I have a demo table, fantastic. Or not. I mean, one table, great. Yay. Who likes that? Am I hearing any clapping? Because I'm not clapping. All right, let's add another table. What do we call this one? Demo contacts. How about that? We call this demo contacts, okay? All right, I have demo contacts. Let's give it a different color. Beautiful. I don't even know what this is. Maroon with purple. Two of my least favorite colors in the world. And I'm still not happy because, my God, what am I going to do with this now? And I'm going to have to do some manual work. All right, fine, let's do some manual work. Let's go and connect these, okay? Well, at least now I can see another window and I can create fields and say like, okay, well, it's going to have an ID on the left side. That's going to be a number. So I'm going to add that, voila. And I'm going to have an ID demo. Actually, let's just add an ID first, so we're on the same side about everything. And then we're going to add an ID demo, which is the foreign key for the demo table. For all of you who are using FK and PK, I highly recommend that you get away from that convention. That's a really, really old convention that FileMaker Inc. probably, or maybe it was Clarice before that came up with. I have always found it somewhat archaic and like too many letters, but obviously you guys all do whatever makes sense to you. I like to keep things simple, especially when you're working with SQL and other languages. They like things simple. So now we have two IDs and we can connect these together. So we can say, okay, I want to connect these by the ID demo foreign key to the ID primary key here. And then I can say done. So now these two are connected. So if I open this up again, it will stay that way. So I can keep on hacking at this one by one, add more tables, add more tables, add more tables, and then I can add a little note here and say, okay, this is my my demo structure, whatever. I can even like resize this note. I can put it elsewhere. I can give it a different color. So it's a little similar to how we do things in FileMaker, but let's take a look at something that's even better than this. So let's get rid of all this crap. Excuse my language. Since it's a video recording, nobody can slap me. And let's use our chat because we have it. Now, since we have a lot of different shops out there, a lot of different companies, and everybody in the world almost has their own naming conventions, I gave you guys a field where you can sort of specify a simple naming convention if you'd like. Or you can specify it in here that I'd like you to make me I need a diagram to help me build an app for a school application system. My naming convention is that I name second table with the current table name in capital, connected to the previous table in a lower case. Now let's see how this works. I have not done this, so it could really end up upside down, but let's see how this works. So let's create a diagram. Voila, we got beautiful JSON back, which is readable. So just in case we are at a point where we're like, let me just take a look at this and make sure that it's gonna look exactly as I want to. Or maybe I'm missing a field, so I can go back and say, you know what, I would like to have in the reviews another whatever field. So you can just actually chat for a little longer or a lot longer, or you can be done and say, okay, just create my damn diagram. So I'm gonna hit the button and let's see what happens. Drum roll, boom, done. Is this magic or what? Because I personally think this is magic. I really wish that I had these tools 10 years ago, but we didn't. But look at this. We have, I think it misunderstood me a little bit because I think I said that this goes first and then this goes afterwards. That's kind of how I like things. But I can always go back and say, like, you know what? You got this wrong. Change the naming, fix it. And it will fix it. But what's really cool about this is I can close this now because I don't want to see that. So I have all these, connections that it decided that I needed for this like simple exercise. And so, oops, what did I do? Clicked on something. So I have applicants and applicant applications, and then it connected them automatically for me. And same thing, here, everywhere, everything is connected automatically. And now I can stare at this if I'd like, which is wonderful, but perhaps I'd like to do something else with it. So I have some buttons here. And again, I can share this diagram. So I'm going to click on that and let's see what that does. Voila. It is copied. I'm going to paste it into a new window. And now it's going to load that shared diagram. And we have a diagram, my friends, that we can just share to anyone and they can navigate it and they can take a look at it. I think it would be nice if I could add them for them to see what's in here. Maybe I'll do that in the next version. I think this is still pretty cool. At least I tend to like it. Tell me what you think. But if you want to share the diagrams that you create, and obviously they can be much more complex than this with coworkers before they start developing a project, I think this is a really good way to do that. You can also click on any of these other buttons. So you can export as a PDF, and then it's going to create me a download. So let me go and do that, and let's go and take a look at that, see what we got. This is a text file. So it's a really easy way to review, did we do a good job? We can even probably just, retype this and throw it back in there, get some modifications, but we have the relationships, so we have everything. So you can even share that and then email this with it or send it in a chat, and then they have both information pieces that they need. And then here's another really cool thing, which is the copy as FileMaker XML. Now, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, if we watched them in order, that unfortunately we have some limitations on the FileMaker side. And I'm sure at some point we will hack all this as well. But for now, some of the XML copied from FM Dojo works pasted in FileMaker. Some of it obviously works the same version backwards as well. Doesn't work everywhere. So I tested on macOS Tahoe with my FileMaker 21. It did not work. Somebody else tested, also didn't work. Older, I think Sequoia version also didn't work. I don't know actually which FileMaker that is. Eventually we'll sort this out and figure out, like, I guess which versions don't work. But to make sure that you guys can still use it, I built a FileMaker file that's a clipboard helper. It does need base elements, but it's free, and you can download that from the code editor. There's a link there. I also built an AppleScript helper. So for more advanced people, you can even use this. And there's also the Claris app upgrade tool that you can use to work with the XML. So in this case, I copied that XML out and I know that on my computer it's working. So I'm going to go to FileMaker and I'm going to open up my manage database. And I have one table. I'm going to delete that, make sure that I remove everything that I don't need. And I'm going to paste things in here. So as you can see, I have all the tables that I copied and I have all the fields per table in here, and I have all table occurrences. The only thing that we cannot handle via XML is the relationships. So you still have to hook up the relationships manually, but you have the PDF and you have the original, diagram. But I think this is the time when the PDFs can help you just print that out or have it on one side of the computer, and then very quickly you can just hook up the relationships. I don't think this can get any easier for the time being for most people. But again, feedback, ideas, and everything is always welcome. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.